Scientific discovery is inefficient. 85% of the money that's invested in biomedical research, that's $200 billion a year, is wasted. The main culprit behind this is that scientific equipment hasn't changed in decades. Scientists are forced to manually monitor their experiments. That means that drug discovery now takes 15 years to produce one drug. Vaccines and cures have become more and more unaffordable, and commercial biotech has a very lengthy and expensive production time. And this problem is about to get a lot worse. The aging population with the Affordable Care Act is causing a huge demand for testing, which greatly exceeds the amount of people who can actually test the compounds. My name is Tony, CEO of AutomatedLabTech. We're a software platform company that has created an IoT gateway with plug-and-play sensors to expedite scientific discoveries. Our gateway is called the Nucleus. It's so small it fits into my pocket, and it has a unique plug-and-play sensor port. We partner up with a sensor manufacturer that produces temperature, gas, camera sensors that plug and play directly into our system. One of the plug-and-play sensors I'm really excited to introduce today is the gel electrophoresis camera. So gel electrophoresis is used in DNA, RNA, protein analysis. An example of this would be like crime lab, blood identification, paternity tests, and it's used very widely in biology labs. The only way to run the experiment is to sit there and actually track this dye as it goes through a gel. So what we did was we took a camera, it connects directly to our gateway, and now using object tracking and machine learning, it will autonomously track the sample for you and send you a notification. So what we found out was that actually after 29 hours of usage, you'll actually get your return on investment. That's about 4 days of using it. And if you want an actual monetary value, that's $59,000. So the IoT gateway market is fairly large. It's part of a massive $64 billion IoT healthcare market. Each sensor goes into each different market. So the gel electrophoresis encompasses a $1 billion market. And these are all solemn numbers. We run beta sites at Harvard, New York State Department of Health, to name a few, and right now we're running a paid pilot with the NASA-funded Center for the Origin of Life. We're generating revenue through 2 streams, a B2B play with our physical product and a B2C play with our subscription model. We contract manufacture in 4 states. We contract assemble with ARC in New York State, so ARC employs people with mental and physical disabilities. And because our workforce has people with disabilities, we're going to be getting preferred source, which means that state agencies are required by law to purchase commodities and services from preferred source first before going to any vendor or distributor. So we're using this to our advantage by going to market with NICED, the New York State Industry for the Disabled, their preferred source distributor. Our core team has over 12 years of biotech experience and over 17 years of industrial IoT experience. Our scientific advisory board advisors have expertise in chemistry, biochem, biology, and biomedical engineering. Our corporate advisors include the executive director of Blackstone, a presidential healthcare advisor for George W. Bush and Barack Obama, the head of products at TouchTunes, an ATDC Catalyst that's helped startups raise over $200 million. And then lastly, a ATDC Catalyst that invented the super soaker and Nerf gun. We've been through the Blackstone Launchpad Accelerator. We took first place in their business competition. We did the Blackstone Tech Startup Product Showcase. Right now we're an Accelerate company with ATDC, and we're in the 4th and final interview with TechStars for the summer cohort. We future-proofed our gateway with automatic wireless updates, so that means that you can, in the future, plug and play new sensors into the gateway, and it will even work with our prototype versions. Right now we're raising $1.25 million for product dev, manufacturing, distribution. Contact information is at the bottom, and I'll be glad to take any questions you might have.
So when you thought of this, were you in the middle of an experiment?
Yeah, so I have a PhD in chemistry, and when I first started my thesis, I realized that science was really inefficient when I was out partying with my grad school friends, and they were forced to go back to lab in the middle of the night to do experiments. And I recognized that very early on. So when I actually started putting sensors into my experiments, during the 3rd year, I was collecting 3.5 years worth of data and analyzing it autonomously in one day. And I actually graduated really, really quick. I spent my entire last year of my dissertation just commercializing it. So we were part of the Blackstone accelerator during that time, and then we took the competition, and from there we took off.
You mentioned 2 different go-to-market strategies. Could you talk about what you see as the pros and cons of each of those, and where there are regulatory issues or other things that might force you in one direction?
Yeah, so the go-to-market strategy that we took was preferred source. So preferred source, state agencies are required by law to purchase preferred source commodities and services. The negative on that is that we do have to sell it at a lower price than we would to a regular distributor. However, it does allow that agreement between the preferred source distributor does allow us to sell it to other distributors. So right now we're looking into BWR and Granfield.
And the consumer versions of B2B.
Oh yes, so the B2B is just the physical product, so we have to use a distributor because they already have the connections and the network set up. It's very expensive to set that connection up via direct sales in the science world. The B2B play is critical because our subscription model, the end user, a lab tech, has to buy the subscription model in order to use its full features.
So you talked a little bit about the process competitive advantage that you guys have with the machine learning elements, or I should say computer vision elements, but can you talk about the companies that represent your competitors and what the makeup of them are? Are they large corporates? Are they other startups? Can you just talk about the landscape from a company standpoint?
Yeah, so are you talking about to clarify, you're talking about the end user that's using it, or whether that, they're like large pharma?
And other providers of either the software solutions or of the physical devices that are being used for lab testing today.
Okay.
So the Thermo Fishers of the world. But
Yeah, that's a great question. So when we contacted BWR, which is the world's largest scientific equipment distributor, they said that we were the only IoT gateway on the market that specifically accelerates discoveries.